Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Good afternoon, dear students. Today in this particular video, we will be discussing what is IRDA, what are its powers, functions, and what is the role being played by IRDA. So, kindly note that in order to control, in order to regulate a particular sector, some regulatory is always there. In case of stock exchange, in case of you may say share market, mutual funds, we have SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, in order to protect, in order to safeguard the interest of the investors. Similarly, in case of you may say insurance, we are having IRDA. We may say it IRDA or IRDAI. So basically, that is its full form is Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. You may see it as IRDA or IRDAI. So this is the logo of IRDA. Once again, I am telling that IRDAI stands for Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. It is basically there in order to control, in order to regulate the insurance sector in India. Various insurance companies that are operating in India, these are basically regulated by IRDAI. It is done in the similar way as SEBI is there in order to control various share markets, you may say mutual funds, merchant bankers, and all that. Similarly, you may say RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, is there in order to control various banking activities in India, be it public sector banks, private sector banks. These banking institutions are basically controlled by Reserve Bank of India, RBI. In the similar way, IRDAI is there in order to control, in order to frame rules and regulations that are to be, you may say, adopted, that are to be obeyed by the insurance companies operating in India. So that should be kept in mind. Now, something about IRDA. Kindly note, dear students, that IRDA, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, it was constituted in 1999 and it was constituted on the recommendations of the R.N. Malhotra Committee report. R.N. Malhotra Committee was appointed, and on the basis of the recommendations given by that committee, IRDA was established. It was created, it was constituted, and initially it was constituted as an autonomous body. And main purpose was to regulate and make sincere efforts to develop the insurance industry in India. So that was regarding establishment of IRDA. But after that, in April 2000, it was incorporated as statutory body. As I have already told you, earlier it was autonomous body. It used to be an autonomous body in order to regulate and develop insurance industry in India. But after that, in April 2000, it was incorporated as a statutory body. And one thing more, dear students, you should keep in mind that its headquarters is at Hyderabad. Sometimes we may say, we may say that the headquarters has various other headquarters like be it RBI, be it SEBI, they are having their headquarters at Mumbai. But it is not so in case of IRDA. It is having its headquarters at Hyderabad. So it should be kept in mind. Now next, I have already told you that IRDA is there in order to develop, in order to have a control over insurance sector in India. Various, you may say, companies that are in the business of insurance, they are being regulated by IRDA. So the mission of IRDA is to protect the interests of the policyholders, to regulate, promote, and ensure orderly growth of the insurance industry, and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. I think it is very much clear from the mission statement that IRDA is basically there. The main purpose of IRDA is to protect the interests of the policyholder. I think by this time you are already aware that a person who has taken some policy from any insurance company, he or she or that institution is known as policyholder. And in order to protect the interest of the policyholder, IRDA is there. And in addition to that, in addition to protecting the interests of the policyholder, IRDA is there to regulate, to promote, and to ensure orderly growth of the insurance industry in India. So, to make various provisions that how to regulate, then how to promote it, and to use and to adopt best practices in insurance industry. And they may also formulate some rules, regulations for the matters that are connected with or that are incidental to the main aim. Then, what are the key objectives of the IRDA? Again, dear students, I have just told you that one thing you should keep in mind, that competition is necessary for our growth, but cutthroat competition is not so good. It is bad. So, what are the key objectives of the IRDA? It is to promote healthy competition. It is to promote competition so that so as to increase, so as to enhance customer satisfaction through increased consumer choice and lower premiums while ensuring the financial security of the insurance market. I think it is very much clear that main purpose is to serve the customer. We want customer satisfaction. We want that customers are getting quality services at a reasonable price, and they are having much choice. They are having a great choice, and they are able to get the best policy by paying a reasonable amount of premium. So the ultimate aim, as we say in marketing also, it is to get, you may say, quality services at a reasonable price. So by paying reasonable premium, customers are able to get quality services as far as insurance business is concerned. And at the same time, the main objective is to ensure the financial security of the insurance market also, as far as India is concerned. Now, what is the composition of IRDAI? What is the composition of IRDAI? I have already discussed with you that IRDAI 1999 is there. So, as per section 4 of that particular act, as per section 4 of IRDAI Act 1999, the composition, you may say, provisions regarding composition of IRDAI have been described, have been given, have been stipulated. According to that section, IRDAI is a 10-member team. It will consist of, as far as its composition is concerned, it will consist of a 10-member team, and all of them are appointed by the Government of India. And as far as composition is concerned, one chairman will be there, five whole-time members will be there, and four part-time members will be. You may see that it is basically a 10-member body. One chairman, five whole-time members, and four part-time members are there as far as its composition is concerned. Now, the main thing that is very, very important from your syllabus point of view and otherwise also, that is, what are the duties, powers, and functions of IRDAI? Dear students, you should be very much clear. I have given you an idea by this time that why IRDAI is there. What is the main motive behind IRDAI? That I think I am able to convey to you. Now, what are the duties, powers, and functions of the IRDAI? Again, kindly note that as per section 14 of the IRDAI Act 1999, various things, various duties, powers, and functions have been prescribed. The main thing, the main part is that IRDAI will be there, will be regulating, will make sincere efforts to promote, will make sincere efforts to ensure orderly growth of the insurance business and reinsurance business in India. And for that, in order to do that, in order to achieve these objectives, and subject to the provisions of this act and any other law for the time being in force, IRDA is free to formulate, IRDA is free to frame rules and regulations. Now, what are these duties. What are these powers and functions? Let us discuss one by one. Now, first is without prejudice to the generality of the provisions of subsection 1, the powers and functions of the IRDA will include. I am discussing with you first. That is to issue to the applicant a certificate of registration. So first of all, in case some company wants to enter the insurance business, as you know that in case of Companies Act 2013 is there, and you know very well that certificate of incorporation in case of companies, it is granted by registrar of companies. I think it is very much clear to you. Similarly, in this case, in case of insurance business, the certificate of registration, it will be granted by IRDAI. Once it is satisfied that all the formalities have been complied with and nothing is pending and everything is in order and everything is as per norms. Now after that you may say, in order to renew the registration from time to time, in order to modify, in case some need is there, in order to modify the registration, or in case when the insurance company is not doing the work in the proper way, and it needs to be the certificate needs to be withdrawn, the certificate needs to be suspended for some period of time, or in case of some bigger issue, the IRDA is fully empowered to cancel such a registration. And you know it very well that once the registration has been cancelled, that particular insurance company will not be able to do business in India. So it should be kept in mind. So this is the main function, you may say, this is the main power, you may say, and this is the main, you may say, duty of the IRDAI, that when it thinks so, when it is satisfied that it is very reasonable, it is very much required to suspend or cancel the registration of a particular company due to some default or something like that. So in that case, they may withdraw, suspend, or cancel the registration. So it should be kept in mind. And now next, while in the beginning I have already clarified that various regulators are there. The main motive of various regulators is to protect the customer, you may say. RBI is there in order to regulate the banking sector. SEBI is there in order to, you may say, regulate securities market, in order to protect the interest of the investors. Similarly, IRDAI is there to protect the interest of the policyholder. Policyholder is basically the insured who has taken the insurance policy from some insurance company. So, regarding, you may say, regarding various issues, it may be regarding assigning of policy, it may be regarding nomination by the policyholder, it may be regarding insurable interest, and it may be relating to settlement of insurance claim by the company. Surrender value of the policy may be there, and various other terms and conditions may also be there. And regarding those terms and conditions, IRDA is there. IRDA will be specifying these terms and conditions, these regulations, so that the interests of the policyholders may be protected. So it should be kept in mind. Then you may see that various types of agents are there. As far as insurance industry is concerned, a number of agents are there, and I am sure that in your life you might have also experienced some interaction with some insurance agent. So what would be the qualifications as far as agent is concerned, and what will be the code of conduct that is required to be followed, and what are the requirements of giving training to such intermediary, such agents? So each and everything is basically decided by IRDAI. So it is also very good. Who may become an agent? What are the qualifications? what type of you may say test, if any, that a person has to clear, has to qualify before being able to act as an agent. What type of practical trainings, you may say, how many hours, minimum hours should be given to a person to enable them, to enable, you may say, him or her to act as an agent. So all these things are basically decided by IRDAI. Then I think you might be having an idea that once some loss is there, I think you are having an idea that insurance is there. It is basically concerned with sharing of risk. So in case somebody has taken the policy and by, you may say, and some loss may occur. So in case some loss is there, so it will be surveyed by some surveyor, or it will be assessed by some loss assessors in order to know what is a real loss, what is the amount of loss, what is the magnitude of loss, what is the proper valuation, what is the proper assessment. So regarding that, IRDA is empowered to specify the code of conduct for surveyors and the loss assessors, and they will have to abide by, they will have to keep in mind these code of conduct, these guidelines, these code of conduct and all that. Then in order to promote, in order to promote the efficiency in the insurance business, again IRDAI is free to form, IRDA is free to formulate, to create some policy, to create, to issue some guidelines, to frame rules and regulations. These rules and regulations will have to be abide by all the companies, all the players in insurance industry in India. So various good practices of other countries may be adopted in order to have, in order to bring, in order to promote effectiveness and efficiency in the conduct of insurance business. A lot of creative ideas are there. Something good may be there in other countries. So IRDA may adopt those best practices, and these may be adopted in India. And once these are these have been specified by IRDAI, and after that these will have to be followed in letter and spirit by the Indian companies, by you may say companies operating in India. So then the next part is IRDA is empowered to promote, to regulate professional organizations who are connected with insurance and reinsurance business. So in case various professional organizations are there, so regarding that also IRDA is empowered to promote and regulate such professional organizations. And regarding fees, regarding other charges, for the purposes of this act, IRDAI is fully empowered to levy fees and other charges in order to have information, in order to conduct inspection, in order to conduct inquiries, in order to conduct queries and even audit of the insurance companies, intermediaries, insurance intermediaries, agents, and other organizations which are connected with the insurance business. So, regarding that, also, IRD is fully empowered to call for such information and to do such activities. Then, in addition to that, one specific thing is also there, that IRDAI is fully empowered to control and regulate the rates, advantages, terms, and conditions which may be offered by the insurance companies regarding general insurance business, that is not so controlled and regulated by the Tariff Advisory Committee under Section 64U of the Insurance Act 1938. So, in respect of those issues, in respect of, you may say, general insurance business activities, that is not controlled under Tariff Advisory Committee. So again, IRDA may frame, IRDA may issue some guidelines, and it may control and regulate the rates, advantages, terms and conditions, etc. In addition to that, IRDA is empowered to specify, to make policy, to specify the form and the manner in which books of accounts will be maintained by the insurance companies in India. companies operating in India, companies doing the business of insurance in India. So, in what form the books should be kept, and the manner in which books of accounts will be kept, the manner, the form in which statement of accounts will be rendered by the insurance companies operating in India and various other insurance intermediaries. So each and everything should be specified by the IRDAI is empowered to issue some guidelines, to make specifications, and these guidelines will have to be adhered to, will have to be kept in mind by the various companies, various insurance companies operating in India and various other insurance intermediaries operating in India. Then you see main part is relating to investment of funds by way of premium insurance companies are collecting, you may say, millions and billions of rupees. Then how to invest, where to invest. So some guidelines are basically issued by the IRDAI, and the insurance companies must keep in mind those guidelines which have been issued by IRDAI relating to investment of funds by insurance companies. Various companies are having, I have already told you, a huge money, a huge, you may say, reserves are there, huge money is with them. So, how to invest that? By promoting, by protecting the interest of the policyholder. So, each and everything is to be decided by the insurance companies, and it must be done in light of the guidelines issued by IRDAI. Then, in order to safeguard the interest of the policyholder, in order to safeguard the interest of the insured, and at the same time, in order to protect the companies also. So IRDA is empowered to regulate maintenance of margin of solvency, and various strict guidelines, you may say, that may be issued by IRDAI, that may be specified by IRDAI, and those rules and regulations must be kept in mind, must be adhered to by the insurance companies operating in India, and they must be acting, they must be doing their work by traveling within the limits set by the IRDAI relating to maintenance of solvency. Then, in case some dispute is there, in case some dispute arises between the policyholder, between the insurance company and intermediaries, and it may be between insurance company and insurance intermediaries, then in order to adjudicate such disputes, IRDA may act, IRDA may issue guidelines, IRDA may adjudicate such disputes in the best possible manner. Then, in order to in order to supervise the functioning of the tariff advisory committee, again IRDA is fully empowered, so that the functioning of tariff advisory committee is very transparent, is in the interest of the policyholders, is in the interest of the nation. So it should be kept in mind. Then again, in addition to that, IRDAI is empowered to specify the percentage of premium income of the insurer to finance schemes for promoting and regulating professional organizations, regarding which we have already discussed in clause F. So, some percentage of premium income that may be, you may say, stipulated, that may be prescribed, and in case such amount is prescribed, such percentage is prescribed to finance schemes for promoting and regulating professional organizations, then in that case the concerned insurer, the concerned insurance company will have to act as per the guidelines. They can't deviate from those guidelines, and they will have to travel within the limits being set up by these guidelines. Then, in addition to that, IRDA may specify, IRDA is empowered to specify the percentage of the life insurance business and general insurance business to be undertaken by the insurer in rural area or social sector. So it may also be prescribed, and again, it will be compulsory, it will be mandatory, it will not be voluntary, it will be mandatory on the part of the insurers, insurance companies to act strictly as per the issued guidelines. And in addition to that, from time to time, some issue may arise, something may be there. So again for that thing also, IRDA may exercise such powers which may be prescribed. Now, what are the praiseworthy steps, recent steps taken by IRDA? You see, the main purpose, Indian economy basically opened in 1991 when Dr. Manmohan Singh was Finance Minister of India and Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of India. So that was in 1991, and all things like liberalization, privatization, and globalization, that is the term basically LPG, that was in limelight during that period. But my concern in this regard is that in August 2000, IRD opened up the market by inviting applications for registrations, and foreign company for the first time, foreign companies, foreign insurance companies were allowed ownership of up to 26%. So it should be kept in mind. And one thing you should also keep in mind, that IRDA has the authority, has the power to frame regulations under section 114A of the Insurance Act 1938, and has from 2000 onwards framed various regulations ranging from registration of companies for carrying on insurance business for the protection of the interest of the policyholders. Now, steps taken by IRDA. Then the liberalization to allow 100%, foreign shareholdings in insurance intermediaries started with the introduction of Indian Insurance Companies Foreign Investment Amendment Rules 2019, which were there on 2nd of September 2019. And after the introduction of FI amendment rules, the IRDAI on 30th of October 2019, it notified IRDAI Insurance Intermediaries Amendment Regulation 2019 intermediaries regulations to amend the regulations governing intermediaries to allow 100% FDI and to prescribe compliance requirement for insurance intermediaries with majority foreign ownerships. And in the month of November 2019, it issued a circular to notify that the guidelines on Indian owned and controlled will be inapplicable to the insurance intermediaries. And in January 2020, it notified the guidelines on repatriation of dividends by insurance intermediaries which have majority by foreign investors, that is dividend guide. So dear students, that was all from my side as far as IRDAI is concerned. Hope you have got some idea, you have got some knowledge and understanding regarding IRDAI, its constitution, its mission, and what are its various powers and functions. So thank you very much.